What up?
What's that?
Let me set this joint right. Let me.
Yeah, I see you, bro.
Yeah. All right, y'all see me? Y'all hear me? Good. Like sounds.
Yeah. Yes, we do.
All right, cool.
We
All good.
do. Yo, Phonte, thank you so much, man. I know you've been a busy man, and I know you got things to do. I know you like, babe, bro, been bugging me, but yo, you came through in the fourth quarter, man, bro. I appreciate you, man.
Nah, it's all good, man. It's all good. I know I'm always down for whatever you're doing, and so I knew I was gonna do it, but I was just like, I got to figure out how the hell I'm gonna fit it into my time. But anything you doing, bro, I'm there. So,
Bro, I'm so gracious for your time. Like I said, like, man, you already know what it is, man. Let me go ahead and properly introduce you, if that's okay.
have at it. This is your show,
All right,
man.
let's go. All right, let's go. Founding member of Little Brother, as well as a member of another classic group, the Foreign Exchange. He's also connected to some of your phrase with production and, TV credits such as Black Dynamite, VH1 Special, The Breaks, and personal favorite of mine, Sherman Showcase. And also for the baby Sesame Street too. I can go on and on with this man's, particulars that he has out here, his achievements. Without further ado, my brother Pastuh Tigallo. Everybody, please welcome Phonte to Chopping It Up with the Conduit.
What's going on, y'all? How y'all doing? Peace. Thank you for having me, man.
Good, brother. How have you been, man? I know you've been busy, so.
Man, I'm gonna be real with you, bro.
Yeah.
This has been the greatest vacation I've ever had.
Yes.
Well, this has been the greatest guilt-free vacation. You know what I mean?
Okay.
When you work for yourself, it's always a time where, you try to take that time to vacate or just kind of decompress, but I would feel guilty about it because every time, like me and my wife took a trip or something, and she having fun, but I'm just like, yeah, this is fun, but I'm always thinking about work I got to do back home. Like, shit, I could be mixing this song, I could be writing this, I could be doing that. But COVID, man, it just really gave me the opportunity just to really slow down. And
yes,
I think for a lot of people, it just gave us opportunity just to really think about the people we want it to be once all this shit is over. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So, it was a time of transformation for me, man. Just just really just having quiet and just being just sit and examine my life in a way that I never had time to before.
Right.
And so it's been a blessing for me. I mean, it was a 2020. I mean, it was a tough year. It was a year of a lot of loss, year of a lot of change.
Yeah.
And it was painful in many ways, but by grace of God, me and my family, we all healthy. We never caught COVID, none of that. We've been staying healthy, staying safe. And I've still obviously been able to make a living. So, I'm thankful. Still been able to work. And I just took this time just to kind of reset, refresh, and just rebuild myself for what's to come.
Sure. Man, I can definitely tell this year has been a reset for, a lot of us. You tapped in with me and you actually said that you can see the change where I've taken, so to speak, and what I'm trying to do. And, it's like I say, it's always good to have a blessing, from you, because, you're definitely one of the realists out here. I feel, who personally I can actually touch.
Thank you,
talk to, and, you know what I'm saying? And that's not being biased, you know what I'm saying? Because we always talk about personal connections from, the loss of our fathers due to cancer, and just, in general, family, love. And it's just the things that, I correlate, through your music that correlates with me. So, I wanted to personally tell you before I started this off, you're in my top 3, Phon.
Man.
No, that's I might get some haters or whatever, but there's things that you talk about that the everyday man goes through. And we're talking about relationships, you know what I'm saying? Worried about work, worried about your family, worrying about what the next move is going to be. You understand what I'm saying? And the way you mix it up with rhyme, but then also you know, with a beautiful voice. You know, it encompasses everything for me. So I just wanted to personally tell you this, you know, before we started.
Man, that means a lot. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much.
That's what's up, Phonte. So, all right, let's get this jumping, because, you know, everybody definitely knows the history of, you know, Little Brother and so on and so forth. But I want to jump to 2018,
Sure.
the Art of Cool Festival in Durham, North Carolina, okay? Where Nas and Badu did, you know, Erykah Badu did perform. But the highlight was, you know, the Little Brother reunion. You know, how did that come to fruition? Was it by fate or was that planned?
It was not planned at all, man. It was, you know, when I tell people, it was truly, you know, it happened in God's time. You know what I mean? You know, this was something that, you know, we had all been in taught me, Pooh, and Ninth. I mean, by this point in our personal lives, you know, we were all friends. We were talking, like, we were cool. You know what I mean? So it was all love. And they, my man Suleiman, who runs the Art of Cool Festival,
right,
called me, and he was just like, "Yo, Royce missed his flight. You know, can you do it?" And I'm like, "Oh, shit, man. I'm like, when you need me?" He like, "It's in like a few hours." You know what I mean? Damn, nigga. All right. So you know, so that was that. So I reached out and I called called my DJ Flash, Cool DJ.
Yeah.
He was up. So then I called Ninth. I'm like, "Yo," because me and Ninth, we were hanging that previous night. And so I'm like, "Yo, man, they hitting me. Suleiman want me to do this joint, do a solo gig. Would you DJ for me?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'll DJ for you." And I was like, "Well, man, why are we talking? I mean, you know, since you DJing for me," I said, "You know, I think it'd be crazy if we got Pooh involved." You know what I mean? And he was like, "Oh, that's crazy. You ready for that? You ready?" Wow. Ah, man, I think this should be dope. You know, this is something that you know, it was really just a gift to our city. I said, I can't think of any other time we would have this opportunity to just really surprise our fans in the city where we came up in, you know, got our musical start. You know, it was just be a beautiful gift for people. And he reluctantly agreed. Ultimately, I don't think he really wanted to do it, but I think he just kind of skittishly was like, all right, I'll do it. But you know, we did it. We called Pooh. You know, he comes down, you know, from Charlotte. Pooh was really the real MVP of that story, because he had to make it from Charlotte to Raleigh. I mean, he made that shit in record time. You know what I mean? So so that was it. But yeah, we did it. We went off, and yeah, it was believe me when I tell you, when I started my day that day, last thing on my mind was performing with Little Brother. And that was just something. Yeah, you could have told me aliens was coming. I would have believed that before I believed I was at stage with my brothers again performing. Like I never envisioned that.
Wow. All right, so I mean, let's fast forward, because in 2019, you know, in Washington, D.C., we were fortunate to have Little Brother, you know, perform at the historic Howard Theater.
Yes, indeed.
You know what I'm saying? And going into 2020, I know the tour was still moving strong. But of course, you know, like we said earlier, COVID came through and halted everything. You know what I'm saying? You know, is there anything that you miss about, you know, the live experience?
Not at all. I miss nothing.
At all.
Nothing. I don't miss none of that shit, bro. I swear to you. Like, you know, it's so hard. You know, I think it's hard for people, you know, to understand, you know, just as I read a quote some years ago, and, you know, it really stuck with me. And this guy, he was saying, the war of an artist, and I'm paraphrasing this, I could be butchering it, but the basic idea was that the central conflict in an artist is the desire to say something, and the desire to hide. And I was like, motherfuck, like that is like
that hit home.
Oh my God, you know what I mean? And so, you know, for me, man, I think I've always just kind of, you know, felt that conflict in that, and I think, and I talk to other artists, I mean, to varying degrees, we all kind of have it, but you know, yeah, there's a sense of, you have to have some kind of ego to a degree as an artist, because essentially what you're telling yourself is, A, I have something to say, and B, what I have to say is important and it needs to be heard by other people. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I mean, if I was just wanted to write for the sake of writing or rap or whatever, I could have albums sitting on my hard drive and no one would be the wiser. But we release it because that is in my mind, that is how you close the cycle of creation. It isn't finished until it's released. Because once the art is released, it goes to everyone else. And then it belongs to them. And something can be in your mind, it can exist in your space, and it means something to you. But once you release it to the world, that shit takes on a whole nother because now it belongs to the people. And so now they're gonna process it and it's gonna mean something to them, you know, and you have to live with that, you know. So you know, there's definitely that part of me that I want to create and I want to release these things. But then there's very much the other side of me that I'm very much a hermit and very much just enjoy being by myself. I mean, you know, me and you talk a lot of times, you know, like I don't do a lot. Like I was just hopping on, like, nigga, this
I know.
So you know what I mean? So, you know, so there's definitely that part of me that is just I don't miss it. So when it came to the road, you know, that was something that, you know, I began to understand once I started touring. I understood why so many artists had mental health issues, either issues that were created by the road or they were they already had previous issues, you know, pre-existing, and then the road just exacerbated that shit, you know. So, you know, for me, man, I just realized, I'm like, yo, dude, like just waking up in a new place every morning, like that shit is not healthy.
It's not what it is.
Nah, like that's not, you know, what I think what people think touring is, and I'll be clear, you know, it don't matter if you're little brother, if you the foreign exchange, if you're Beyonce, if you're whoever, the road kicks everybody's ass. The road is a toll on everyone, even if you on a Beyonce level or just a top artist level, where you know you got all the trimmings, the chef, the this, the that, or whatever.
Right.
I mean, it just ain't nothing like waking up in your own bed in your own
bed.
You know what I mean? Like I don't give a damn. It's like I don't, you know. So for me, man, I think that's just the thing. It's hard for people to understand. They're like, but you perform so well and we love your shows. And I'm like, yeah, I appreciate that. And I love, you know, because y'all paying us to see it, I want to give y'all money worth. And I'm gonna do but best believe if I had the choice between doing this or, you know, being at home just working on music and just writing, that's where the joy comes from. That's what drives me to do it. So no, I do not miss the road. I don't miss shows. I don't miss the travel. I don't miss the planes. I don't miss the fucking 5 o'clock lobby calls. I don't miss the fucking continental breakfast and shit.
None of that.
But nigga, they have all that shit, bro. I'm cool. Like, listen, brother, I wake up. I have my little breakfast. No, I have my eggs. My wife make me some eggs, whatever. I have my oatmeal. I do my walks. You know, we have dinner. Me and my family, we have dinner.
Yeah.
And my nigga, I come up here and I get to work in the studio and I just live my life, you know?
Comforts of home.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let me segue into this because, you know, between Little Brother, the Foreign Exchange, you know, sharing space with other artists, you know what I'm saying? What was the process you went through, you know, finding your voice as a solo artist?
Man, it was tough. I mean, you know, and I still think I still don't know if I found it yet, but I think I'm probably closer than I've ever been, you know, as close as I've ever been to finding it. But nah, man. So the thing with me as a solo artist, you know, the people, they would ask, like, why did it take so long for you to do it and whatever? You know, man, between Little Brother and the Foreign Exchange, I was pretty much getting out everything I wanted to say. You know, a lot of times in a group, like if you take a Gang Starr, for example, where Cream would do all his solo, he would do all his work, his production for people, but then Guru would have Jasmine Taz, like that was his thing, you know. And those things are necessary, I think, to keep a healthy group dynamic, because I mean it's like a marriage. It's like, listen, we're married, we're in this thing together, but I gotta have something that's mine. There's still just some parts of me that these are things I want to do for me, you know, and balance 100%. I gotta have these things because if I can do these things on my own, that just makes me even stronger when I come back to the group. You know what I mean? Right. But between Little Brother and the Foreign Exchange, I really, I had everything like I wanted to say. I'm like, all right, Little Brother, this is my rap shit. Right. You know, Foreign Exchange, this is my soul songwriting shit. Like I'm ooh. So then in like 2011,
charity starts at home.
Yeah, man.
I keep telling you, man, that.
Thank you.
Man, go ahead, bro.
Nah, bro. That record, yeah, that was that's a favorite for a lot of people, and I
yes.
Go off for listening. Yeah, that was that came from a hard place. So I was in the middle of I was actually in the middle of a divorce when that record came out. Like I was dead. I was like, so that record, and I also refer to the Foreign Exchange, our third album, Authenticity, which was 2010. That was 20, and Charity was 2011. That was just really they were just really just bookends for me of just a chapter of my life, you know what I mean? Closing. And you know, and it was rough, you know what I mean? I was like, I think, you know, what as I now understand, I think I was very depressed at that time, you know what I mean? Just in terms of not knowing. I always thought of depression as like sadness, and like, you know, you think of it as being just this, you know, oh, I'm so sad, you know, but in talking like to my therapist and stuff, and she was saying that, you know, in men, a lot of times depression can show up in a different way. It can show up as irritability, you know what I mean? It may not be just you're sad. You can be fully functioning and you know, producing and everything, but it's just something, you just feel something is off. And looking back, making it out of that fog, I see like, yeah, man, I was really like in pain. And but the record, you know, it helped me kind of cope through that. And I was just like, well, shit, man, I gotta tell the truth. Like I can't be fronting about this shit.
I mean, honestly, I think it helped a lot. It helped a lot of men, but I think it helped a lot of Black men in general, because you know, it's usually the image put out there that you're either always clubbing, you always got the bottles, you got the models, the fast cars, and you understand what I'm saying? It's always that, like it's like an everyday cycle. But for me, as a working man, you know, living, you know, trying to, you know, survive check to check, so on and so forth. You know, you talked about those things. That's why I talk about, you know, you being one of my favorite MCs, because
thank you so much.
You speak on things that actually resonate with real people. You understand what I'm saying? So it just, you know, your music holds a special place in my heart for me. That's why.
Thank you, brother. Yeah, you know, man, that was something that I think just, you know, as a kid growing up, when I started doing records and, you know, when I just got into hip hop, I think one of the key things I saw, like, you know, Big Daddy Kane was probably my favorite MC at the beginning. And, you know, when I first got into record, the first hip hop show I went to, my uncle, he took me to the Fresh Fest at Greensboro Coliseum. And it was MC, Houdini, and Fat Boys.
Yeah.
And like, he took me to that show and I was like, holy shit. And so at that time in my life, you know, LL, Run DMC, those dudes, I mean, they were like fucking superheroes. You know, that was something that just did not even seem possible in my mind. That was something that was just, I mean, that was like Mount Rushmore type shit. You know what I mean? Like, that just didn't happen for people like me, you know? So from where I came from. So they were just gods. But then when Tribe came along and when I saw that was when I kind of saw, I'm like, you know what? I can't be this. Like, I can't, like, this big, larger than life thing. Like, that's just not me. But Tribe, De La, Jungle, I'm like, this is, I can do this. Like, because this is more in tune to the core of who I am.
Your speed.
Yeah, you know, and that was kind of where I saw it, and that music just, you know, it grabbed a hold of me, and you know, and it never let go. And that was kind of where I realized. And even when we were doing minstrel show, we were mixing the minstrel show in Baseline, and Q-Tip, he pulled up on us. Q-Tip and Method Man, they came through one night. I'll never get this shit. They
Wow.
came, and while we were mixing, and you know, they was playing the joints. You know what I'm saying? We playing joints. They in there vibing with us and shit. And you know, and I ain't Tip, and I played him because we had a song on the album called "Still Lives Through." And I remember like asking him, like, yo, bro, we calling it Still Lives Through. Like, you good with it? He was like, nah, bro, I love this shit. Yo, Phone, yo, y'all niggas.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what I'm saying? Yo, y'all, yo. And I never get so he's like, yo, you know what I'm saying? Just never forget, Fonz. It's way more niggas like us than it is niggas like them.
Mm.
And I never forgot, you know, he was just saying, you know, kind of what you were saying about just kind of talking about real life. It was like, listen, it's more of us just living a regular life, just working men day to day, just doing what we do kind of on our blue collar shit, than it is people at the top, you know, with the bottles and the models and whatever. And there's nothing wrong with it. If that's your life, speak your truth, but never be ashamed to tell your story, because your story is just as valid as theirs. And
exactly.
I never forgot that.
Word. Okay, so in finding your voice, did that help you open up to other creative outlets such as television?
It did. You got barred me, man.
It's all good, man. It's good to get your God degree on, boy.
Yeah, bro. I've been like eating healthier and shit. Like I didn't drop I've been probably down like 11, 12 pounds, whatever, since the start of the year. And like, but I'm eating a lot like earlier. I don't eat, you know, late at night anymore.
Eat late.
Yeah, I did that. So I'm trying to you know, get this
expensive jeans.
Nigga, listen. So yeah, bro. But yeah, finding my voice. So I think in terms of TV, the thing I learned that was a big lesson for me when I got into TV, and I talked about this on Combat Jack.
Right.
You know, rest in peace.
Yeah,
you know
rest in peace. Rest in peace.
When I talked to him, you know, when I did this pod, you know, man, the thing I learned was that in the movie business and TV business or whatever, you can get so far if you just deliver. You know what I'm saying? And there's such a big gulf between. There's a lot of people that want to do it. There's a lot of people that want to do music for TV, film, whatever. But and they're musically talented, but they can't fucking deliver. You know what I mean?
Right.
I think when I first started in the game, when we first started, you know, with LB, this was the first thing that we saw. So we had no frame of reference. Again, we coming from Durham, North Carolina. So we had no frame of reference as to what the music business looked like. We had no frame of reference as to what a tour looked like. We just walked into this shit just blind and was just like, all right. So our first tour, we toured with Hyro. Shout out to, you know, my brother Hyro. Love them dudes, man.
Word.
First tour. We did 40 cities in 50 days. So, you know, and I'm just looking at the tour schedule. I'm like, okay, this is what we're doing. Like, we didn't think at all that just how the thing that was, right? But we did it. And so then when I got to Atlantic and like, you know, we would talk to, you know, artists and they would show us other artists' tour schedules and them niggas would be like, all right, Monday we in Atlanta, Tuesday, Wednesday we off, Thursday we in Louisiana or some shit, off, then we in Miami on Friday. Right. Then we off for a week and then we come back. I was like, man, y'all niggas soft, bro. Like, we could have circled y'all motherfucking ass. You know what I mean? Like, we was goddamn going to get it. You know what I mean?
Going to get it.
So I just didn't, but that was the way we came in the game. So the same thing when it came to recording, you know, we didn't have like the best equipment. We didn't have like the best whatever. We couldn't afford to like pay people to mix or whatever. So we just had in our mind, when you went into the studio, when you walked out that night, that was the song.
That was
it. That was it. You know, it's like, so whatever you want to do, whatever mixing, whatever little fly, delay, whatever you want to add, you know, we had to have it in our mind that once we walked out of that studio, we had to get it right because that was the only opportunity we had and no one was coming to kind of save us. We had to get it perfect right there. And so, you know, I think just in my mind that those practices, I didn't realize at the time, but those practices were just preparing me for TV work in a way that I think nothing else could, because, you know, I would get assignments or stuff and people be like, you know, like shit, just last year we did me and my partner Zoe, shout out to my brother
Yeah,
Zoe.
Big Zoe.
Yeah, man, shout out my
Yeah.
brothers, my production partner. You know, we got a call, like, you know, we were doing Sherman Showcase. Shout out, you know, my brother Diallo and Bashir and the whole Sherman Showcase family.
Yeah, Sherman Showcase, yeah.
Yeah, man. So they hit us for Diallo, he calls me, and this is like classic Diallo. And he's like, yeah, man. So yeah, man, I got the song. We need this John Legend song for this Father's Day special. And I'm just like, okay, when do you need it? And of course they need the shit yesterday, right?
That's always the case.
Always, bro. Always. Hey, bro, cool. I got you. And so me and Zoe did it. And but that came from that training, just being able to just being in the studio. I mean, with LB, like, we used to just cut records like fucking madmen, dude. And having that training helped me just, you know, prepare for, you know, we talk about, you know, ask about finding my voice and everything. That work and that training helped prepare me for TV and stuff. And also, other end, it was, you know, it was reflexive. So TV also made me a more confident and a stronger songwriter, because I didn't take things as personal. You know, when I was younger, you know, I would take rejection very personally, which I think a lot of, you know, artists, you know, I would take it very personally. And once you're in TV working and stuff, it's just like you might, I mean, dude, you might write fucking 3-4 cues before you get to the right one that they pick, you know what I mean? And it doesn't mean that if they don't like this, it doesn't mean that you suck, you're the worst songwriter ever, you're whatever. It just means, hey, this didn't work, just give us something that does work. And and that just opened my mind, and just, you know, just completely strip any fear of rejection or anything, because my mentality now is like, there's always another song.
Always. So all right, so I mean, that's crazy. So I mean, how did that make you come involved with Black Dynamite or VH1's The Breaks? But then I want to talk about your comedic genius, man, with Sherman Showcase. Bro, I always tell you, man, like, I think you should be doing stand-up sometimes, man, because bro,
stand-up comedians are the bravest people in the fucking world.
Right.
That is the hardest art form by far to do. And it's something that people think that you can be. It's one thing to be nigga at the cookout funny.
Right.
It's another thing to be, hey, I paid $100 funny.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
I feel you.
Like we can be sitting out back at my crib, we drinking on something, smoking on something, and nigga, we just shooting shit, and it's funny. Like, that is a completely different dynamic than, hey, cuz I paid $100 for these tickets, and you know, all this and that. Hey, make me laugh. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's really hard, you know. But yeah, man. So with the breaks, well, I go at Black Dynamite.
Yeah.
Black Dynamite was that was my man Carl Jones. Big ups to Carl Jones. He was a showrunner for that show, and well, shit. You know what? Let me go back. It's because Black Dynamite starts even before that. Carl Jones was a writer on the Boondocks. He was a writer on the Boondocks, and Carl, he was a Greensboro guy. Now that's my hometown, Greensboro, North Carolina. So he was a Greensboro guy, and I didn't know him from Greensboro, but you know, I just knew. I was like, oh shit, you from the crib? Word up. So it was kind of that connection. So Aaron Magruder, at the time, he was on. I mean, this is back in the MySpace days, bro. So I done this like a gospel version of Catch a Freeman, the Uncle Ruckus, Don't Trust Them New Niggas Over There. I did like a gospel quartet version of that joint. And it was just some fucking around shit. I just did it and like whatever. And so I hit Magruder up on MySpace, and I was like, yo, bro, like I was like, I didn't even know if it was him. I'm like, yo, I don't, you know, I'm just gambling. But it was really like, yeah, man. I was like, oh shit. So I sent it to him, and he was like, yo, this shit is hilarious. I wanna use it in the show. I said, man, word up, it's all good. So so later on that year, I think I went out there, met with him and Carl. we watched. He showed me like I think it was the end of season 2. He showed me the season 2. He was like, "Yeah, man, this is what I've been doing." I was like, "Yo, this shit's dope." So then when it came down for the next season, I did. He was like, "We got this Catch a Freeman scene, and we want you like to do like another joint, like another version of that." I said, "All right, cool." So I did that, and that was me in that scene. That was my singing in it. So that was kind of the start. So then Carl Jones, when he got his own deal, his deal to do Black Dynamite at Cartoon Network, the guy he hired to do his music was a brother named Phonte Horton.
Okay.
And Phonte is like, you know, lifetime friend of mine. Me and Phonte, we've known each other since I was like 13. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Another Greensboro.
Sandbox.
Yeah. And so, you know, man, so that's my man. And he got the deal. And he was the music supervisor. So he hit me and was like, "Hey man, this is what I got. As always, you know, it's kind of shoestring budget kind of shit. But this is what I got. You want to fuck with it?" I said, "Hell yeah, nigga, let's go." So a those songs, like all the Black Dynamite stuff, like those songs, that was like me and Zoe, like doing all the parody stuff, and like that's me like singing, like any of those, a lot of those songs, if you look at those episodes of Black Dynamite, all those cues you hear in the background, that's like a lot of that shit is me singing.
Oh
that
wow.
Shit. All like the episode of the Bob Marley episode. There's an episode does the Bob Marley thing. Chance the rapper, Chance was they booked Chance to do his speaking voice. I did his singing voice.
The singing voice, yes.
Yeah, I was Bob's singing voice. And so, you know, that was just so much fun. I mean, that was just one of those gigs where it's like, yo, I can't believe they're paying this, because I'm literally just fucking around with my homies doing shit that we would regularly do just on a fucking whatever.
That's usually the best thing.
No, it really was the best thing, man. And so that led to that. That was Black Dynamite, and we did that for I think 2 seasons, and you know, it was cool. And then the breaks came along.
Yeah.
Shout out again, my brother Dan Charnas, man. Dan is he wrote a book called The Big Payback, which if you have not read it, I encourage everyone like checking out this live stream. I mean, it is just one of the greatest hip hop stories ever written. I mean, he just the way I described it when it came out, I told him, I said, "Man, you're showing us how all the Anakins became Darth Vader." So like all the dudes that you see popping now, from Jay, Puff, like whoever you want to name, you get to see their origin story. You know, it was amazing. I mean, so he wrote this book called The Big Payback. VH1 picks it up to make this thing, a series called The Breaks. Out just you know, early 90s hip hop and just the culture at that time, and took place in New York City. And they wanted someone to write rhymes for all the show. And you know, Dan hit me with the opportunity, and I was like, "All right, well, let's try." You know what I mean? And then he was like, "You know, because you know I'm working with Premiere on this." I was like, "Oh shit, come on, bro! Like, what you saying?"
Nothing but a word.
Like, let's go, let's go. So we get into it, man, and you know, that was one of those times that, you know, and I just look back over my career, man. That was just one of those opportunities that, you know, I'll never forget. You know, Preem, sent me a joint, and I recorded it, and I had to write for this character named shout out to my brother Antoine Harris, who played and just killed that role, and really put that work in to learn those rhymes and the mechanics of MC and everything. Big ups to him. And but you know what, he hit me. Preem sent me a joint, and he like, "Yo, this is the joint for you know, the song that gets him discovered." I'm like, "All right, cool." So I go in again, the training. So I go in, I do the record in one night, top to bottom, and like at the end of it, I put some scratches on it, but I did it with my mouth. I was imitating Chuck D's line, "Once again, back is incredible," and I was just doing the cuts with my mouth. "Once again, back. Like, I was just doing it with my mouth. And so I send it into the reference. I'm just like, "Look, this is just the idea." I send it. I'll go away. So then I had to rush to get to the airport to then get up there. So I get up there, and we get in the studio, and this is me and Preem's first time in the studio. And he comes in, and he's like, yo, you killed that shit. Yo, you killed that shit. I was like, "Yo, thank
you." Your impressions, bro.
Yo, yo, man, that's funny. He's like, yo. And so I'm like, all right, thank you, bro. Thank you. So he's sitting down and he's sitting there and, you know, he's kind of pulling the track up, mixing it. And then he goes to the turntable and he's like, yeah, he's like, yo, so I got the Public Enemy joint. I got it right here. And I'm just watching this shit and I'm like, yo, he's like, I'm gonna put it right here. What you think? What you think, Phon? What you think? And I'm just like, hold up, dude. This is DJ Premier asking me my opinion on the song. Like, bro, fuck out of here, dude. Like, what do you like? That's it. Like, that was it. You know, that was to me. I mean, that was more so than any money I made off the joint. More so than any whatever. You know what I mean?
It was
just to be able to, just the experience, bro. Just to be able to sit in with someone. I mean, I grew up listening to this man's music, reading the back of records, praying that one day I could even meet this guy. But now we're working on something together and he's looking at my input and is actually valuing that. Like, man, that meant everything to me. And so the breaks was just a beautiful experience, man. It was, you know, we got kind of cut short and it's, you know, it's TV. That's
the people were kind of upset about that, but we understand. You still got your influence out there, bro.
Yeah, man. Yeah, and I'm thankful for it. You know, big up Seif, man. My brother Seif, man. We ended up doing the me and Seif ended up hooking up later on last year. We did the turn this motherfucker blue joint for Georgia and flipped it. Shit, we got it blue. So, you know, I'm like, hey, word up. But yeah, man. So that was how those opportunities came. It was just from years of just working, building those relationships and fostering those relationships, and they called me and I delivered.
Word. Okay, well, I want to jump to No News is Good News. Brutally Honest and a classic in my opinion. You know, what zone were you in when you made that beautiful piece of art? And what was the inspiration behind Expensive Jeans? Because, you know, that's something that, you know, we don't talk about. Health.
Man. Expensive Jeans. That whole record, so, you know, that came out in 2018, and that was it had been full 7 years since my last record.
Right.
And I probably actually started on that song. I think the first thing I kind of wrote for it, I think, was Such Is Life. Such Is Life and Pastuh Tigallo, those were kind of the first things. But I started those back in like 2014. And so I started it, and then, you know, just, you know, the breaks happened. Me and Arrow, we did the Tigallo album. Shout out to my brother Eric Rose.
Yes, probably, yeah. Peace to Eric, man.
Yeah, I was, you know, producing stuff with Zoe and everything, and so I just kind of put it on the back burner because honestly, it just wasn't that important to me. Again, you know, me as a solo artist, like that was something. It was never something that was a priority to me. It was just like, all right. I mean, if I put something out, I put something out, but it's really just it's more, the way I describe it, it's more form than function. You know, like my solo career, that's just a place for me to just get out ideas. I can play with song structure. I can rap for 32 bars straight. I can, you know, whatever. You know, it's just me just kind of experimenting. But it's not the start of, okay, this is Phonte, the solo rap career and the tour. And I ain't doing none of this shit. So that was the thing, bro. And so, so finally, I think like 2016, 17 rolled around. And, you know, I'll never forget, it was like the end of 2017, like New Year's 28. Yeah. And you know what, man, I have to just get this out of my life.
Get it out.
I got to get it out. I got to finish this, just get it out of my life, or else it's just going to hang over me forever. I need to finish it.
I'm so glad you did.
Thank you, bro. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, the majority of that record, I mean, when I really sat down and got to the nitty gritty, just the nuts and bolts of it all, the majority of that record, I probably finished up in like 3 weeks. And it was, I mean, now when I say 3 weeks, I mean, it was, to date, it's probably just as a writing exercise. That's probably just the hardest in terms of just the writing, because it's just me, you know what I mean? It's really just me. And so when I finish that record, man, you know, it'll be times like I'd be in here just for days, just in, and I finally come to bed and I get up. And I mean, man, that shit felt like I had been in a fucking fight. You know what I mean? Like I would literally just be sore. Like I wasn't hardly eating. I wasn't hardly showering. Like I was just devoted just to this thing. And so I had my brother, my man come in, my brother DJ Cosmos. I don't know if he on, but shout out to him. He came to the crib and he set up shop, and you know, we made some stuff right there. He ended up doing Find That Love Again, and he did.
Oh, that's my joint right there. Woo!
Yeah, shout
out. So many joints on that joint. I mean, we could talk all day about that album, man. Just keep it moving, bro.
Thank you, bro. So yeah, so my man DJ Cos came over. My girl Christy A came over. She's a singer. She's all over that album, singing little things. She's on the LB album. I've collaborated with her a lot, but it was really just us three in here, and they were just kind of like the energy, like, you know, that I was just kind of feeding off of. We was just in there, just singing interlude. See me shining. We was like, Ohio play old nigga shit, and we just sang that shit and just shit like that. So so that was kind of how the record got finished. And Expensive Jeans in particular, that song, I lost my dad, and my dad died.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, rest in peace, man. And you know, and we didn't have a really good relationship. We weren't very close. But towards the end of his life, that was when we actually got together, and you know, we were able to talk about some stuff, and you know, I mean, it ended on good terms. It was fine. I didn't have no anger. But you know, but there's still just that thing of like, yo, this motherfucker died at 54, you know, and so it just became a thing. So that album came out 2018, so I was like 39, so I was about to hit 40. And, you know, and there's always just that looming thought in my mind. It's not so much now, but I was on my Busta Rhymes shit. It's like, there's only 14 years left. Like, you know what I mean? Like, oh, there's only 13 years left.
Right. It's ringing in the back of your head.
Yeah, bro. You know, and I'm like, holy shit, you know, because you just don't think about it in terms of aging. You know, what aging looks like. I think in my mind, like what aging looks like, what we see it on other people. Like when you look back on, you know, and I would think about my mother, you know, 'cause my mother, she had me very young. And my mother was 15 when she had me. Yeah. And so when you're a kid, you don't really see adults. You don't really think of age. You just see them as just bigger people, you know?
Exactly. So you think of them as your superheroes.
Exactly.
You're naive. You think that they're never going to leave.
And they leave, you know? And you don't see a difference between, okay, if I'm a kid, okay, this is my mom who's 16, this is my grandmother or my aunt who's 40, and this is this person. Like, you don't see a difference. They're just all just bigger people. Right. And so I started getting older, and, you know, I think I was, you know, I mean, my boys are 20 and 15. And, you know, I look at, you know, my 15-year-old, my son, and I look at him, and I'm just like, dude, when my mom was your age, she had me.
Right. That's crazy.
You know what I mean? And it's just like, so that just gave it a whole new perspective. So aging was just something that we never really thought about. But then once people start passing, you get older, that's when it kind of starts setting in. And so Expensive Jeans was just a song that, you know, I just wrote, and I thought it was just as much as I'm talking to other people, you know, I'm talking to myself as well. Like, yo, bro, you got to clean this shit up. We got to stop. You know, you can't be eating this and that. You know what I mean? We got to clean this shit up. You know what I mean? Because by the grace of God, I've never had any serious health problems. Like none. Like no high blood pressure, no diabetes, like no, none of that shit. And I'm like, I want to keep it that way. You know what I mean? I don't prizes.
I feel you. I agree with you 100% on that, bro. Real talk. All right. So I definitely want to talk about 3 significant people, you know, I know personally, you know, that mean a lot to you. Of course, number 1, your queen. You know, I was fortunate to, you know, to meet, you know, and build with. Number 2, of course, you know, rapper Pooh. You know what I'm saying? The chemistry the both of you have. And then, you know, number 3, another one of my favorites, man, Big Zoe.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So, I mean, you know, I don't want to, you know, bust this live short. I mean, because there's so many things that you and I can talk
Oh,
about, and
keep
there's
going.
people with questions and things about that. But I just wanted to get to the certain crux of things, bro. You know?
We keep rocking. I'm good.
Okay, so if we can, you know, your queen, Rappapoo, and the homie Big Zo. Three
Oh,
amazing people, definitely.
yeah, man. Yeah, I saw somebody in the comments like, what about Nicolay? Like, yeah.
We get Nicolay, I get it, but you know, these are my questions. Next time y'all want to send in questions, I'll holler.
Yeah, man. So I guess you know, for me, you know, my wife, I got married, remarried.
Yes.
2017.
Right.
And you know, man, that was just something that you know, I never had a blueprint for. You know, I had no blueprint for marriage, you know, what it meant to be married, what it meant to be a husband, like what it meant, like what to look for in a wife. Like I mean, I had no clue as to what the fuck I was doing. So so the first time, you know, my first time I got married, I was super young, and, you know, just I had no fucking clue.
Right. You just trying to find your way.
Trying to find my way, and
yeah,
trying to find your way just as a man, and trying to find your way as an artist, and at the same time trying to build this thing with someone else. I mean, that's tough. Like it ain't too many take it out of that, you know.
Right.
But so, you know, that failed, and I for a long time, you know, for a very long time after that, you know, I think I was just very kind of jaded and just you know, just like, damn, man, like this shit, you know, because, you know, when you go through a divorce, it's not so much that it's not just the death of your marriage, it's the death of an idea. Because, you know, I stand in here and I say, all right, this is going to be forever, and then it's not. So then you immediately start to question, okay, well, if this ain't forever, then hell, what else ain't forever? You know what I mean?
Right.
So it definitely and I can be a naturally kind of a cynical person in some ways, but divorce just took that shit to like overload. You know?
Right.
I ain't believing shit.
Right.
but you know, I was wild. But after that, man, you know, years passed, you know, counseling, therapy, healing, just growing, and I met my wife, and you know, man, the main thing I will say just about that relationship, about my relationship with her, you know, the thing I realized is that in order to be with her, I had to just be a different person, and not a different person in the sense that I got to just change and just be this new nigga. Nah, I have to become a better person. You know what I'm saying? Right. And you know, it would just be times where even, you know, like I tell Rose all the time, listen, man, like black women are mirrors. They show you what you show them, right? So, you know, it would be times that, you know, we would be talking, and it was just one time I'll never forget, like we would be talking about something, just discussing, and, you know, I would just raise my voice, and I would never, you know, I mean, we would never argue or like bicker, or that's just not our dynamic. That's never been really my dynamic in any relationship, and I'm not like I ain't gonna fight and shit, you know. Right. But having a passionate conversation, like, but no, baby, I'm saying, I mean, we need to do what I'm saying. And she would just shut down. She would just be like, and I'm like, what's wrong? And she was like, babe, she's like, I just, when you can't talk do that, I can't do that. She's like, I just, I don't know how to respond to you in that way. And that shit just stopped me cold. I was like, motherfuck, because that was the way that my family talked to each other all the fucking time. You know, whether it was, you know, take out the trash or whatever, everything was a command. That was just the way that, you know, we spoke. And learned behavior. It was learned behavior, 100%. And so I just learned how, you know, to be with her, for us to just live in harmony, I had to just become a much more intuitive and a much more I had to become a better listener, you know, and I had to just listen, like, you know what, dude, if she's saying something to you, the thought in your mind, you can't get defensive and like, oh, but no, I didn't do that. The thought that I had to reprogram myself was to think, okay, what is this conflict? What is this conflict telling me about our marriage? And through this conflict, what is God trying to teach me about myself? Because there's a lesson in this. There's something in this that I need to learn, and there's a lesson I need to get out of this that's gonna help me in better ways. You know what I mean? This is gonna make man. And you know, man, and listen, I mean, that was it, you know. And you know, one of the things that in particular with her, that I learned was that, you know, because she asked me one time, she's like, well, how'd you know that, you know, you wanted to marry me? Like, we talked about that. And I said, well, I think I learned that I wanted to marry you. Like, we had went out to eat or something. I think we went like to the goddamn Mayflower and shit. Like, it's like it's called the Mayflower, which is automatically is like, oh, you already know. But it's a fish, it's like a seafood restaurant. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah.
And I think we went out, and I think she reached for something to get something out my plate. And bro, when I tell you, goddamn, before that, if you reached in my plate, nigga, what?
You would have flipped.
Woo! I do not play that shit there, my nigga. What?
Hey.
Goddamn, if I motherfucking 10 wings, nigga, I want a 10-wing experience, not 9,
all
not
flat.
8. All flats. Goddamn, you better get it right. Don't fuck with me. Look. I say, look, man, I will pay you. Listen, I'll pay double. I'll buy you a whole other set of wings. Just stay off my fucking plate, dude. I don't, you know what I mean? And so the thing I learned, man, the thing I had to realize was that, you know, I'd never thought of myself as a selfish person. I was a very giving person. I still am a very giving person. But what I think marriage taught me, I had to become a person that shares. And there's a difference between giving and sharing. To give to someone is a one-time thing. It's, hey, take this, get the fuck away from me.
Right.
Sharing is something that's ongoing.
Right.
That was something that I had never really in my relationships. I didn't realize up until now that I was really much of a sharer. I was always a giver. I mean, you know, whatever you want, whatever some shit you want to buy, whatever, if I got it.
Right.
Whatever, get what you want. It's whatever.
Right.
But
sharing was a different experience.
A completely different experience. So so that was kind of the thing, man. So yeah, having her in my life is certainly made me a better person, and it just you know, we've helped each other a lot, you know, and you know, and she's, you know, with me in everything I do, and you know, we talk to each other and we share things, and we, you know, I mean, it is a true partnership in every sense.
Partnership, yes.
Oh shit, my trunk went out. But so yes, her, I'm sure she's like tired of me yapping about her. but yeah, so that was us. That's my wife. I love her. She's beautiful. She's great. All the things. Yeah, all that. But then
peace to the queen.
Yeah, peace to her, man. And it's not easy. I mean, because I'm not, you know, I'm not an easy person to be married to. So you know, salute to her. But yeah, in terms of Zoe, who was the second person? It was her, and then it was
rapper Pooh.
Oh man, yeah.
Pooh.
You know what? I'll say Pooh for last. I'll say Pooh because that's
we'll say Pooh for last.
I'll go to Zoe.
Okay.
Zoe, man, you know, Zoe is just someone who, you know, he's got a new record. It's coming. Abstractions. Him and my brother talk. Him. Our joint call, Hold My Hand is out right now, featuring me, Lucina, and Darren Brockinson. That's out. Also, Talking to Myself, featuring girl, Gasco. Love her to death. Big ups to her. Her shit is coming as well. But yeah, man, Zoe is, I mean, if there ever was someone that I would consider like just a musical soulmate in that way, Zoe is that, you know. Zoe is someone who, I mean, if it ever was a thing of just brothers from another, I mean, musically, I mean, we just communicate. A lot of times they don't even be talking. It's just an understanding, you know what I mean? Like before I even go to make a musical choice, like he's already there. He's like, yep, I'm with you. We just, it's amazing.
You're in tune.
So much in tune, bro. Like we are so, and it's a beautiful thing. And just that has blossomed into TV work and just, you know, just our production work and just, you know, just we're, you know, production and songwriting team, you know?
Yeah.
I see Carlita in here. Shout out to my girl, my sis Carlita Rand. Big ups to her. And so now Zoe is just Zoe. That's my brother, man. I mean, me and him, you know, if I'm going to war, in musical war, like that's I want him by my side. Like we not and for him, you know, whatever he do, you know, I'm right there, you know, on it at the ready. So Yeah, he's just an amazing musician, incredibly
Yes,
hard,
he is.
and he
A
always,
beautiful soul too, man.
yeah, man. Of
An
Zoe, like,
infectious smile.
yeah, all the ladies love his smile. They love Zoe's smile. He is
Yeah.
Zoe, man. He's the guy. You know, to me, that's like something that means so much to me because when Zoe first started with us, you know, he was teaching school,
Okay.
and you know, he was teaching school at music at the school. And, you know, he got on with us. You know, we did his first record. You know, he started touring with us. And, you know, for the past, you know, 9, 10 years, he's been supporting his life just off his music. And that to me is like, I mean, bro, like that shit means the world to me to be able to give somebody that opportunity, but then for them to also see it and for them to take it to that level, you know, I'm so proud of him.
That's what's up. All right, so yeah, we were finishing last off with Zoe, Big Zoe.
Yeah, Zoe, again, man. Zoe is just someone that I am just extremely proud of, his work ethic, and just, you know, the talent aside. I mean, you know, the talent it speaks for itself. But he's just a brother who really just showed up, did the work, and just kept showing up. And he is just, to me, an example of just tenacity. You know what I mean? Just continuously just showing up, putting out project after project. He was one of the only people that really gave me a run of me meeting someone that he will always match or exceed our work ethic. Like, so if me and him was working on something and he might send me something, I'm like, all right, man, I'm gonna put a vocal on it, and then, you know, you can finish about it. He's like, all right, cool. I might not get the vocal down, say it may be 3 a.m. I see 3 a.m, I'm like, yo, man, I got this down, you know, whatever. I know you probably about to go to bed, but then goddamn 5 o'clock, you know, I ain't went to bed, bro. I finished this shit. You know what I mean? So I was like, I respect, you know. So he's just someone I just love, you know, with all my heart. And you know, it's just someone that I will always ride for, root for, and be beside. In terms of Pooh, I guess I'll make a 2A and 2B. Nicolay, I'm gonna speak on Nicolay.
Yes, Nicolay,
you know, yeah, brother. Nicolay was somebody that you know, aside from just being just an incredible musician, Nick is someone who, working with him was how I really learned the true meaning of partnership, equity. You know, when we first started our label, when we first started FE Music in 2008, we had been working on Leave It All Behind in like 2006. You know, we started in 06, you know, and you know, we got some tracks in, and you know, we actually had meetings with a couple other labels, you know what I mean? And you know, we did the math and was kind of looking at it, whatever. And ultimately we decided to do it, you know. Okay. And so the thing was, man, like the thing that I just kind of tell people when it comes to the music business, you know, I put out my first record, you know, the listening was 2002. And then last Little Brother record was 2007 in Get Back of that first wave. So that 5-year span, that 4 or 5 year span, I had put out a record on just about every kind of label that was imaginable. You know what I mean? Did the listening, which was on ABB, which was a small independent label. Then I did Connected, which was on BBE, which was like a bigger kind of indie. Then you know, we did Chitlin Circuit, which was on E1, which was like a big. I mean, they were in
that was a big, but one of the big ones at that time.
They were one of the big boys, you know what I mean? And we did, and so then we did Atlantic, we did the Minstrel Show. And so the thing about it, man, like at the end of that period, the thing I realized, I was like, yo, I've done a record on just about every kind of label you can do a record on, and I'm still doing the same amount of fucking work. None of these labels have made my job easier. So I'm like, shit, if I'm gonna do all the fucking work, nigga, I might as well count all the goddamn money. You know?
Exactly.
If I'm the one working for this shit. So so that was kind of what drove it. And so when me and Nick started, you know, started FE Music, I mean, that was just the first time that like I saw like every month I'm seeing what I sold. I'm getting statements. I'm seeing like financial transparency, you know what I mean? And that just, you know, that I mean, it changed my life, you know what I mean? And is someone that just, you know, again, outside from just an amazing musician and the brotherhood that we share, he is just a beautiful person, man. Just a beautiful, loving, insanely talented human being. And his friendship, you know, it has just made me a better man. All the people that you're naming, you know, Zoe, you know, Pooh, you know, and Nick, you know, I wouldn't be who I was without these guys. You know, Pooh in particular, me and him, we joke because we like, yo, man, after all these years of making records, we making records like 18 damn years.
Yeah.
But we just became friends like 2 years ago.
Life will do that to you.
Yo, I mean, you know, it's real, you know, but yeah, just the experience of going through what we went through with May the Lord Watch and just recording that album. And I mean, man, that was
a classic too, and that was actually needed.
Thank you, brother. And you know what, bro? I'll be real with you. I didn't realize how needed it was until we did it, until it was over. You know, I was just like, this just, you know, enriched my life and filled my heart up in so many ways. And I think for me, finishing that record, you know, like I said, man, like in order for me to finish that record, I had to become a better person in every way. Like everything about me had to be better because, you know, that was something that up until that point in time, I hadn't worked on anything where the stakes were that high. Right. And once we pulled that shit off and we got that shit right, we stuck the landing on that. I think me and Pooh both walked out of that like, yo, nigga, we ready for whatever.
Man.
Like, shit. I'm just talking about shit. I'm like, nigga, we came back goddamn 10 years later. It sound like we ain't missed a fucking step. We ain't, man, get the fuck out of here,
not
bro.
At all. Not at all. You didn't miss a step at all. I mean, and I was a prime witness, you know, when you performed live at Howard, you know.
Yeah, oh man,
right there on stage, and that place was sold out. And I mean, the energy in that building was crazy. Even, you know, the little tidbit when, you know, we had Pharaoh and the whole crew come through that same night. Yeah. The energy in the building was crazy.
Yeah, man, that was just a beautiful night. And I remember us like talking that night before, and like we was out, you know what I mean? And
yeah,
like, yo, man, I was like, yo, I'm just here to work. Like I wasn't even thinking on that level. I was like, I'm just here to do my job. And then we got on stage. I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, that was just a beautiful thing. So Pooh, you know, Pooh and I, he's just one of those people that, you know, I've been on the phone with him because we've talked over this pandemic. Like we've become so much closer, and our bond has just become so much stronger. You know what I mean? But you know, this was a rough period in everyone's life, and you know, we just had to lean on each other for a lot of different things, and it was things we were able to talk about and just unpack, and just, you know, things that just really made us better. And the thing with Pooh, man, it'll be times I'll be on the horn with him and he'll be talking or just breaking something down, and I'm just listening to him like, yo, who the fuck is this guy? Yo, like who who this brilliant mind, like how, who is this guy? Like, why
how did you miss all of this?
How did I miss all of this? 100%. And you know, man, and he's just been someone that, again, you know, I would not be, his friendship really, you know, made me the person I am. And you know, the things we're working on now, you know, we got Luke on Dreamville, big ups my little brother Luke. You know what I'm saying? His record is coming, you know, and I, you know, working with him on that. We just got other stuff working. And so now our thing with LB, at first it was like, okay, we're doing this for us. We did May Lord Watch and we did that. Now the focus is on, okay, who can we help? You know, so, you know, Luke, we put on him. Well, you know, I, you know, helped him, you know, with stuff on his record. Lyric Jones, shout out my girl Lyric Jones.
Yes,
you know?
Oh yeah, shout out to Lyric, man.
Dope
album, bro.
Thank you, brother.
Dope album. She, yo, I ain't gonna front, like we've been trying to work with each other for the longest because she's been trying to get out to, you know, the DC area at the time. You know what I'm saying? Most of the time, whenever she came through, she would come through with Rod Digger. You know what I'm saying? Yep. So when I seen that you had a part in what was going on with that joint, and then just the reception, I was like, man, it's long overdue for Lyric, man. She's such a dope artist, man.
Thank you so much, brother. Now she is, man. And that was something that, again, until I finished May the Lord Watch, I never would have had the confidence to approach another person's project in that way. You know, this, I mean, working on your own stuff is your own stuff. And it's like, listen, if it go up, if it flop, whatever, who gives a shit? It's mine. I'll live to fight another day.
Right.
But it's a whole nother responsibility when you have someone else's art and their career kind of in your hands. You know, that's not something I take lightly at all, you know. And I was just like, listen, like, I want you to walk away from this shit like feeling good, even if we little, you know, we get into it or we don't see eye to eye on certain songs, whatever. And we argued about a lot of shit. We didn't see. It was some stuff that I was just like, no, this ain't gonna work. And it was shit. She's like, no, fine, I won't do that. So I mean, we had like our moments, you know, but at the end, it just made for this beautiful music. But at the end of the day, I wanted her to just walk away feeling proud and feeling like, you know, I understood that, you know, a lot of times when you're a veteran male artist working with the female artist, there's a power dynamic that's at play. And, you know, I in my mind, I was like, yo, man, if I don't get this right, I don't want motherfuckers walking away like, man, like you didn't treat that with the same care as you treated Charity or as you treated
I feel
FE record. Like, no, she got the same treatment as everybody, if not even more, you know what I'm saying? Just because I understood how important and how delicate of a project that was to just be elevated another black a black woman in that way, and that shit meant a lot to me. So big ups to her, man. Big ups to Lyric. That's family.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. Your music, like I said, I can say I relate to 100%. You know, you talk about the hustle, you know, the pitfalls in dealing with the opposite sex, you know, some finances, you know, relationships. I mean, the whole kit and caboodle, you know what I'm saying? Do you feel that is somewhat your responsibility to rhyme about such things, or, you know, that's just something you feel that needs to be put out, period, for you know, for the betterment of you?
I wouldn't go as far as to say it's my responsibility, you know, but I definitely do think it's, I don't know if I would say it's a responsibility. It just kind of feels like a calling, you know?
Okay.
Like I remember, you know, again, like I can be, you know, a very cynical person and kind of isolated and just kind of hermit into myself. And, you know, like that's just my natural default setting. Just being alone in a room with no one, just kind of writing or working on something. You know, that's just how I am. And so when you live your life that way, a lot of times you kind of have blinders on, and I'll just have blinders on, you know, and so I'm totally oblivious to how my work showed up and how it affected other people. And this was something that I learned. Again, this was a lesson I learned just in doing foreign exchange. So when we first started doing foreign exchange, like first off, another Tigallo fun fact. I fucking hate shooting videos. Like I hate them. Like
right. I know. You can tell the people that. I already know.
Yeah, I know. You're right. We know. Right. Bro, I fucking hate shooting videos with a. I don't like it. I don't care. I just don't want to do it. But you know, we started doing foreign exchange. It's like, okay, well, let's try to get some videos and shoot. And so a lot of times, you know, I would just put my friends in the videos, you know what I mean? And you know, that was just, you know, and I remember I read like an article. It was somebody that had, you know, or someone commented, I read it, and they was just like, yo, I love it so much that how y'all use just, you know, black women in your videos, the way that you would use them. And that was something that in my mind, I swear to God, bro, like I never even looked at it at that level. To me, it was just, you know what? I see what's out there.
Right.
I see what's not out there, and I want to go with that. You know, I mean, I knew just so many just incredible female artists and creators that I thought were just beautiful people. I'm like, yo, I think you can work for this. Like, you want to give it a shot? I'll give you a shot. You know what I mean? Because I believe in this. You know what I mean? And but I never understood. To me, it was just, hey, these are my people. I'm gonna give you a shot. I didn't stop to think that they were like, yo, like, yo, you representing for us. Like, I didn't think it was that big of a thing, you know. To me, it's just shit. It's Thursday, you shooting a video, you know.
Right.
And so I think that's where kind of the responsibility part of it kind of took root in my mind, because it's like, okay, and this is, I mean, you know, this just as Black people, we don't have the luxury of just representing ourselves.
True,
you know,
indeed.
you know, we don't have that luxury. Everything we do, white boys can shoot up schools, malls, churches.
Say it again.
The face of terror will never be a skinny white boy in a trench coat.
Thank you.
The face of terror is gonna look like me or you.
Me and
you know?
Yeah.
So we don't have that luxury. You
Right.
know what I mean? We don't have that luxury. So I think that's kind of where, while I don't feel, quote unquote, it's my responsibility, I do understand that now more than ever, just, you know, as I'm, you know, in my 40s, I realize more than ever that, like, the things I say and the things I do, that they resonate in a way. And so because of that, I don't want to put out anything that just feels irresponsible. You know what I mean? Like, you can listen, you can say whatever. Like, you know, people talk about cancel culture and all this. It's just like, look, man, listen, you know, you can get out here, you can say what you want. You just can't be in no frivolous shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't be out here just running your mouth, just saying some old rabble rousing shit. You know, like, if you have an opinion that you want to express, if it is an informed one and is a one that's, you know, rooted in something, then I mean,
some actual knowledge.
Yeah, like some real knowledge. But you just out here just saying whatever, like, it's a wrap for that shit. You just can't do that. So for me, when creating, I'm just always thinking of, like, man, I'm gonna tell my truth. I'm gonna always be honest about it. But I also realize that these words travel further than I ever imagined, and that's something that it weighs on me more and more as I get older, because, you know, it's like, it's not a fear of wanting to say the wrong thing.
Right.
It's always like, yo, let me make this shit as clear as I possibly motherfucking can to create less room for misinterpretation. Let me say this shit, you know, just straight, no chase. I'm gonna tell you what it is, and that be that. So
well, I think that's, you know, one of the reasons why people love you so much, Tay, because, you know, you're basically truthful with what you say, and your energy puts forth that, you know what I'm saying? And people can resonate with that, you know what I'm saying? So
thank you, bro. I mean, you know, man, I tell folks, you know, I'm like, listen, you know, I don't really, when it comes to me, just in the way that I do music and create, because people always ask, well, do you want to be bigger? Do you want to do this? Do you want to do this, that, and whatever? And the thing I always want people to understand, and I'm so thankful I could do this, you know, in the space with you, you know what I'm saying?
Bro.
But, you know, man, the thing I always want people to understand, the choices, where I'm at in my career, it is by choice. Like, it is 100% by choice. You know, after we got off Atlanta, I had all the opportunities. I could have signed another major label deal. Like, I could have, you know, it was all kind of opportunities that I could have taken, but they just didn't feel true to me. And you know, and if it wasn't true to me, I know it wasn't going to be true to
the people,
because in a label, I mean, they want to exploit you, and that's not in a negative way, but, you know, they want to exploit you and get you and do as many things. And I'm just not that person. There's a lot of shit I ain't fucking doing, you know? So it didn't make no sense for an artist like me to sign to a label just because I'm not that guy. I'm not doing all that. And that was a choice. And so the way I do now, the way I do my music, just the way I create, this is the easiest way for me to create in this way, because by creating in this way, oh shit. Oh, okay, I'm back. You got me?
Yeah, you good, bro.
Okay, all right. My joint, it kind of went out a little bit. Nah, man. I mean, you know, the thing I realized was just like, yo, me doing music this way, this allows me to do music and still enjoy my life.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I really can do what I do and create the things I want to create, put them out to the world. I get to make beautiful music with people I love and cherish. And I still get to enjoy my life. I still get to, you know, watch my kids grow up. I still get to be a dad. I still get to be a husband. I still get to, you know, if I just want to go, you know, to the grocery store, you know, or I can just still live a regular life. And that for me is that's what feels like balance. And so I just kind of stay in that place.
It's a beautiful thing, bro. So I mean, with you, just saying all of that, loving being home and creating, what's next on the horizon for you? Is there any more music to release, or are
Oh,
you just chilling?
it's a lot of shit now, man. We've been cooking, man. So yeah, first up, I think the most immediate thing, like we got Zoe and Tall Black Guy. Their
Yes,
record
sir.
Abstractions is coming. It
Yes,
was
sir.
gorgeous. That's
Grown
coming.
folk music, man.
Man, listen, brother. Hey, I can only create from where I'm at. You know what I mean? Like,
Yes,
so
sir.
yeah, so that's coming. Great record. My girl, Be My Fiasco. If you're not following her on IG, follow her IG, Twitter, Be My Fiasco, BEMI Fiasco, MY Fiasco. We're working on her record that's coming. We're working on my girl Cy Smith. Her new shit is coming. Carmen Rogers, Nick is overseeing her record, and so we're working on that. Her Hello Human Volume 1 is out now, and I think Carmen's birthday is today too. So shout out to her. Happy birthday to Carmen, and also happy birthday to Lettucey. They got the same birthday. It's crazy enough.
Okay.
I think it was a little delay, but yeah. So that Carmen is coming, and then my brother D-Brock Darian, he's back. We back. We cooking up. You know what I'm saying? It is coming, and I'm always in the middle of all these things. I always just kind of find little stuff for myself.
Now there's one person I wanted to talk about that I totally slept on like a big dummy, man. Devin Morrison.
What was that?
I was like, I want to talk about one person who I slept on big time, and I found out through your music, Devin Morrison.
Oh my God, Devin Morrison. Yeah. Oh man, Devin is little bro, man.
Woo!
Yo, Devin, bro. Like, so Devin came to me. I want to say it was a brother on Twitter that just like posted some of his shit one time.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh shit, like this nigga dope. And so I heard him on Twitter, and then like I want to say a couple months later, I was building with my brother Like. Shout out my brother Like from Pac Div from Pacific Division. That's my man. Like, we always been cool, just a real good brother. Me and him was building on some shit. And so I got some records coming on. His album is coming, I think, later this year, and I got some shit coming on that too. But anyway, he's back, and one of the records he sent me, it was just an instrumental, and it was called Beverly Hills. And so I was like, all right. So a lot of times, what I'll do just when I'm writing songs, because producers will send you, they'll name a song or they'll name a track, whatever, right? Call it just a dummy. So a lot of times what I'll do, I'll work backwards and write based on that title. You know what I mean? And I just thought Beverly Hills, like, this could be an interesting concept. So I wrote the song, and originally Like, I think, was gonna rhyme on it, but he didn't. He was like, nah. And he said, nah, this shit hard. I was like, well, yo, man, what about, Devin? Because Devin was he's actually playing keys on that joint. He co-produced it. It was Devin, and shout out to Swarvy as well, the homie Swarvy.
Okay.
He played bass on that. But shout out to them brothers, man. They're incredible. And so I did it, and I was like, I'm gonna leave the space open. Let me reach out to Devin. Maybe he want to sing on it. And he did. And he hung. So yeah, man.
Hey, man, one of the top verses, man, of all time, bro. One of the top. Oh my goodness, man. When he hit the part when she said she forgot my name and said black guys are totally chill. Pushed my plans to walk away. Told the waiter she would cover the bill.
Yeah, I love it. I love
it. I was done.
Yeah, he's a monster, man. I love that dude, man. He's so talented. I was in LA. It was around the time when me and Pooh, we were working on May Lord Watch, and we was out meeting with a couple producers. And I pulled up on him at the crib, and me and him was in the crib, and he was playing me shit. And I was like, hey, nigga. I said, man, we need to eat something. We ordered some that. So man, we sitting here busting down the goddamn Wingstop, and we
Word.
playing me shit. Like that's my brother, man. Devin is a beautiful dude, love him to death, super talented.
Yeah, man. It just seems like everybody you come in contact with or you're working with just has some beautiful energy, and we're thankful to be on the receiving end of that.
Man, I sincerely appreciate that, man, and I really appreciate hearing you say that, because I think I'm just at a point in my life now where I realize, success to me, it just means I get to pick my own shots. You know what I'm saying? And I get to pick my personnel. And, when you talk about, people that you work with them being beautiful people, I mean, that's what it is, and we try to hope that energy comes through in the music, just because, I mean, man, I didn't come this far to have to work with assholes. You know what I'm saying?
True indeed.
Work in a toxic or, just an unhealthy environment. It's like, bro, when you doing this shit, sometimes the only payment you might get is the fucking work itself. You know what I mean? We sit in the studio, and me and Zoe making something, and at the end of we like, yo, nigga, this shit is fucking crazy. That may be the only payment you get from that. You know what I'm saying? You could that song out, it's crazy, and that shit could just be a dud. You know what I mean? So a lot of times the only real fulfillment you get is the process. It's not even in it's the process is the beautiful part of it. And so because that's the most fulfilling part, I'm at a point in my life where I only want to go through that shit with people I love and respect, and people who are giving, and people, who are open and receptive. Like, I ain't want to deal with that silly shit. Like, nah.
Yeah. No doubt. Grown man shit. All right, man. Well, like I said, Phon, like, I want to thank you, man, for joining me and, taking your time out, even while, you're grubbing on your God degree. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, man, I got it done. We good now, baby. We still in the window.
Yeah, we good now, baby. I just took another name. That was Roy Lee 8.
Shout out to Roy Lee, producer extraordinaire.
Yes, man. My brother Phonte, man, yo, thank you so much, man, just for being a positive impact, on people's lives, but just in my life personally, man. Like, I love you like a big brother, you know what I'm saying? And, it's just always good to genuinely tap in with you, just to check in and see how life is going, or when you got a joke that you want to share, things of that nature. So
I know exactly. I will not tell that joke on the air, but I know exactly what joke you're talking about. I'm not gonna tell it.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's not for IG consumption. It's just not.
Right. We're not gonna put that out there. But again, man, brother, I thank you so much, man. Continue, health, continued wealthness, and continued success in all you do. And I know once this, this thing is over, I hope and, building fast that you and I get together and actually, building physical and just, spend some time with each other, man.
No, absolutely, brother. This was a great time, man. Like I said, I don't do this very often. I'm just kind of to myself. But when you called, I came. Bottom line. So I just thank you just for always just being a real one, just always being a genuine dude. And even when we first met, I was just like, it's just you just connect. I'm like, yeah, I fuck with him. Like we get each other,
Yeah, so, indeed, bro. Indeed, man.
Anything I'm here for, anything I can help you with, brother. I'm here, and I love and appreciate you, man. Thank you for everything.
It's greatly appreciated, man. I love you, bro, man. I'm gonna let you get back to your Sunday, man. Peace to the family, your queen, everybody. Tell everyone I said hello, and
absolutely,
we'll definitely tap in again, okay?
For sure. And everybody listening, thank y'all for tuning in for this. I don't know like how nerdy y'all wanted this shit to get, but but thank y'all for tapping in, man. And I see a lot of people asking about Effie and Eric. Well, me and Eric Roberson. I actually got to call Arrow later on. We supposed to talk, but that's definitely Arrow, another one, my brother. Just incredible songwriter. I learned so much from Big Bro. I love him to death. So we got a lot of stuff coming, and just thank y'all for taking time out of your night, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you. All right, my brother, man. Peace to everything you're doing, man.
Salute, brother. We're wrapped.
All right, salute.
Peace.
All right, peace.